Oops. Alright, what is up? Welcome back to Not to Done FRI. So today we have a very informational video again. Today we're going to be doing fork seals. I already showed y'all how to do fork seals, so I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with this bike and everything like that. So today we are changing Malacca's fork seals that are blown out. So got the brand new fork seals in here. Got the brake pads and everything like that. So tear this shit apart, change the fork seals, clean up the bike, and then I'm gonna test ride it and make sure that the fork seal is compressed properly and he's able to do stoppies. My bike's fork seals are good over there and everything. Stoppies are getting a lot better. But dang, how do you take this off? But yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing today. Cleaning up this bike, washing it, changing fork seals, and test riding, and then hopefully everything goes good. So other than that, let's dive right into it. Okay, so this is new to me. This is the first time I actually used this this tool I got on Amazon. So for R6 forks, and I'm pretty sure for Kawasaki forks as well, you can do them on Gixxer forks, but it's only essential for Gixxer forks that you're replacing the race bearings inside of the forks itself. Over time, you do gotta change the bearings, but we're not changing the bearing. But in order to get the fork or the outer tube off from the forks and separate it to get the seal, the oil seal off, you have to do this. And I don't have a clamp and I don't have a workbench right now. Eventually I will have a workbench, but this is kind of a Jimmy rig shit that I have to put together, and hopefully it works. So far it's holding. Hopefully it doesn't skyrocket like a fucking spring into my face, but yeah, for now it works. So one thing I did, like I said, I just ordered this kit off of Amazon for like, I think it was 20 or 30 bucks. It's technically a fork seal tube holder, so that you can get the nut off if you have specific forks like this that require you to get the nut at the bottom and this at the same time in order to take the outer tube off. But yeah, it comes in handy. I also have a oil, like fork seal driver for the oil seals and stuff like that I've never even used. I forgot that I had. But yeah, anyways, what I did was ratchet strap the end down so it pulled down, and then I had to pull this up and use my impact gun to loosen this while holding the nut at the bottom so it doesn't spin itself out. It's a tricky concept, but fork seals are all fork seals. They all work the same. I'm pretty sure maintaining them, it's all the same. It's just different, a little bit more tedious, and a lot more patience compared to, Hondas and Gixxer forks. Yeah, let's see how this works out. I don't really know how this is gonna go, but we're all for the experiment. Alright. Somebody say a prayer so that this shit don't fucking just skyrocket into my stomach. I don't know how this is gonna go. Let's put that there. And put this here. Let me test this out real quick. Alright, so yeah, exactly what I was suspecting. So you see how when I spin this, the whole fork just spins it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, so somehow I gotta get a wrench at the bottom to hold the nut, and I don't know what size it is. It's probably a 13 or something would fit in between there. Probably doing this clamp thing wrong. Alright. So yeah, that's what happens when you fucking overthink shit. So when you do this, right, you don't technically have to have the whole crescent wrench on the whole nut. You just gotta have it so that it doesn't move the nut, and then you just back this shit out. So now that that shit's loose, probably just leave that like it is right there. Put this on the slide. Key pointer tip. You don't necessarily have to do them, but it's recommended that you should. On each fork seals, right, there's a little O-ring. You're supposed to replace the O-rings, and you're supposed to replace the copper oil crush washers over time. If your O-rings are good, essentially you can get away with it if it's not leaking. I hardly ever fucking leak, but you're supposed, recommendation and owner manual per spec, replace your oil seals or your O-rings. Overall, the oil crush washers at the bottom, depending on what fork, like I said, depending on what fork you have, Gixxer forks, there is a copper oil crush ring at the bottom of the forks. R6s don't have one. All you have to do is replace the O-rings on them, but like I said, over time they will tear depending on how hard you ride them. These technically don't have no wear or tear on them. They hardly ever, like I said, they hardly ever fucking go out. It's all preference, you know. If you feel like you gotta replace them, replace them. If you feel like you don't gotta replace them, then don't replace them. God damn, this shit springs. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, so make sure you remember the step process. Like the same way you took it off, it's the same way you're gonna go back in. Make sure you don't mix shit up, cause you mix shit up, then you're fucked on the forks and everything else like that. So, alright, so it's gonna take a little bit longer than I expected. I got off work late, so I want to say I started this shit at 6 o'clock, 5, or what time is it right now? It's 5:45. So I started this, I want to say around 5:20, or yeah, 5:20. I started at 5 o'clock, 5:20. I started this because I got off work at 4:30. No, I got off work 4:30. It takes me about 30 minutes to get home and everything and get organized. So around 5:20, 5:30, I'm gonna say. It's only been 15 minutes, so it essentially takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes per fork. Like I said, you don't gotta be perfect. It's all learning experience. Over time, if you keep doing them, it will get better. Alright, so I got one fork seal down. My stupid ass forgot the fucking second pair of brake pads. I wasn't really thinking. I had just got off work and I thought I was buying 2 sets of brake pads and I bought 1 set. So I'm gonna have to go to Cycle Gear early in the morning and grab another pair of brake pads for the left side. But overall, the fork seal getting done and the bike getting washed, or we could wash the bike tomorrow because it's dark as shit and it's foggy. But yeah, the brake pads I'll have to do tomorrow. I cleaned off the rotors the best that I could. You know, mine still work even though they got soaked in oil. I burnt it off with a torch. This one I just cleaned it off with brake cleaner. Probably gonna have to pick up a torch and just burn off the oil that's kind of in the rotors, get the rotors hot, burn them off. And then after that, what I want to do, that I did it differently on my fork seals, letting it bleed out after I compressed the forks and everything like that. What I want to do is leave the top tube off after compressing it and just let it bubble out overnight. Lean it against the wall, let it bubble out, and then slap the forks on first thing tomorrow morning before I go and grab the brake pads. And then after that, just tighten the top of it up and go from there, test ride it out, and make sure he's able to do stoppies. I'm not comfortable riding other people's bikes. I don't like riding Kawasaki's. I rode an 0304 66, and it's a completely different feel and power band from FRI, where FRI, I just throw my bike and it gets up. Considering, you know, Hondas, or I mean Kawasaki's, it takes a lot more to clutch those things up and get it up to balance point than it is for, you know, a Honda. Hopefully this shit doesn't leak. Shouldn't leak. Come on. Good girl. Alright, so as per last video, you should already know how to do this. If you don't, this is technically what you're gonna do. Alright, y'all, it's hours later. It's already dark as shit. It's foggy as hell outside. I just got done doing the fork seals. Little issue that I ran into. So when I was pushing the piston back to fit the caliper on with the new brake pads and everything, somehow the piston decided to pop out on this side, which it's a rebuilt caliper, so it slid right back in. But all the fluid from the brakes now, I gotta go and re-bleed the whole front brake system now, just because of that fucking one piston decided to pop out. Yeah, overall, I'm fucking whooped. Today's supposed to be my off day from the gym, so I'm not going to the gym, but I'm kicking back, chilling, and just eating a bunch of food, cause I'm exhausted, bro. I'm not gonna lie. My goal was to finish this bike, and it is finished temporarily, minus the little things on it, but it is what it is. Yeah, so like I said, you can always go back to my old videos if you need help or want to learn or figure some shit out with how to do your fork seals. Not complicated, like I said. It's all tedious work. All forks are the same. It is more time consuming, more tedious work, and a lot more patience depending on which fork you have. And then if you get into the newer bike, like the newer R1, the newer ZX10Rs and 6R, where you got the mono shocks and stuff like that, with the separate reservoirs on the front forks and the rear struts and forks, or not the fork. I can't fucking talk. I'm so tired. The rear struts, shocks, they have monotubes as well. You can rebuild those rear shocks with. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I'm about to shower, eat, pick this up tomorrow. Was washing the bike. We'll make a video on that, pretty dope video on that, and then depending on where things go, test ride the bike, and he can come grab the bike, and it'll be done for him to start practicing again. So anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.
Can you lay low for me? Can you lay low? Can you lay low for me? Can you lay low? I just came to ask you one question, this will you go for me? The baggage in my pocket get higher, can you lay low for me? Can you heat it up and light the stove when it get cold for me? Can you suit it up, get booted up and hit the road with me? Fast pace, fast race, come join the trophy team. She just want a nigga to herself, come be alone with me. The neighbors know my name, the way she sing it like I'm Jodeci.